My wife whispered a different name in her sleep, and it's someone we both know. 3 a.m. Dead silent. I'm half asleep when my wife rolls over, smiles, and whispers, Daniel. Soft, happy. Like she's greeting someone she loves. My name is Marcus. Daniel is my best friend. He was sitting in my living room eating my food 6 hours ago. I laid there staring at the ceiling for 2 hours doing mental math on every interaction they've ever had. Every dinner, every barbecue, every time he made her laugh at something that wasn't even funny. I laughed at the same jokes. Nothing. He says it and she's giggling like a teenager. Next morning she comes downstairs glowing. I slept so well. I said, yeah, sounded like it. She didn't catch it. She poured her coffee humming. My wife doesn't hum. She hasn't hummed since our honeymoon. I started watching everything. That weekend, Daniel came over to watch the game. He complimented her cooking. Sarah, this dip is incredible. She touched her hair and said, oh, stop. It's just from a recipe. She's never told me to stop complimenting her. She usually says, I know. I checked her phone that night while she was showering. I'm not proud of it. I found Daniel's message thread. It existed, but it was empty. Completely white. Who deletes an entire conversation with someone they have nothing to hide about? You don't clean a room unless there was a mess. I couldn't sleep for 3 nights. Every time she rolled over, I'd hold my breath waiting to hear it again. Night 2, nothing. Night 3, she mumbled something, but I couldn't make it out. Night 4, clear as day. Daniel, I miss you. I miss you. While lying next to her husband. I decided to test it. I invited Daniel over for dinner the next Friday. I watched everything like a detective. Where she sat, how close she stood to him in the kitchen, whether their hands ever touched passing dishes. At one point, Daniel told a story about college. Sarah laughed and put her hand on his shoulder for maybe 2 seconds. 2 seconds. But it was the way she did it. Comfortable. Natural. Like she'd done it 1,000 times when I wasn't in the room. After dessert, I couldn't take it anymore. I put my fork down and said, funny thing, Sarah's been talking in her sleep lately. Daniel kept chewing. No reaction. Sarah's fork stopped midair. She looked at me. What? Yeah, pretty clearly too. Saying names and everything. Daniel said, that's normal. I talk in my sleep too. My ex used to record me. He laughed. Sarah didn't. Her face was frozen. The color had left her cheeks. That night after Daniel left, she was quiet. Too quiet. I said, you okay? She said, fine. Tired. She went to bed early. I stayed on the couch staring at the wall. The next morning, I told her everything. I heard you say Daniel's name multiple times in your sleep. You sounded happy. You said you miss him, and I need you to tell me what's going on before I lose my mind. She stared at me for a long time, and she started crying. Not guilty crying. The deep kind. The kind that comes from somewhere old. Daniel was the name of my dog growing up. I blinked. He was a golden retriever. We got him when I was 6, and he died when I was 18. He slept at the foot of my bed every single night for 12 years. She wiped her eyes. Ever since we put Benny down last month, I've been dreaming about Daniel again. Every night. I'm 10 years old, and he's laying next to me, and everything feels safe. Benny was our dog. We put him down 5 weeks ago. She cried for 1 day and then never mentioned it again. I thought she'd handled it. She hadn't. She'd just moved the grief somewhere I couldn't see it. And it came out at 3 a.m. and the only name that ever made her feel safe as a kid. I sat there feeling like the worst husband alive. I'd spent 2 weeks convinced my wife was having an affair. I analyzed her body language. I checked her phone. I set a trap at dinner. I nearly destroyed a 9-year friendship because my wife misses a golden retriever. I texted Daniel that night. Hey man, I need to tell you something. I've been a complete idiot and I owe you an apology. He called me immediately. I told him everything. He was quiet for 10 seconds. Then he said, bro, I'm literally the most single person alive. I go home to a microwave dinner and a cat named Gerald. You thought I was stealing your wife? Sarah forgave me. Mostly. She brings it up whenever I deserve it and sometimes when I don't. Last week I forgot to buy milk and she said, maybe Daniel would have remembered. She meant the dog, I think. We got a new puppy last Saturday. Golden retriever. Sarah wanted to name him Daniel. I said absolutely not. We compromised. His name is Danny. Close enough for her. Far enough for my sanity. She hasn't talked in her sleep since he started sleeping at the foot of our bed. Same spot. Like he knew. B. But here's the thing that still keeps me up at night. When I checked her phone that night, the message thread with Daniel was completely empty. She'd wiped it clean. I never asked her why. She never explained. And the night I told her everything, she apologized for the sleep talking. But she never once addressed the deleted messages. Not once. I love my wife. I trust my wife. But I've never opened that thread again.